Good Sunday evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center. It is 8 o'clock. It is time for the 8 o'clock tropical update. We're now on the backside of the season, although we are still in the heart of the season. September 10th, the statistical peak. Here we are, September 14th. Anywhere in here, you can expect to have activity in the tropical Atlantic, although leading into today, we've had very little in the way of activity, but now there is a spot out there in the open Atlantic that has a good chance of developing. This one could become a major hurricane, although the models are suggesting that. I'll show you all the model runs we have on that here coming up in just a moment. Again, this time of year, you can get development literally anywhere. Everything's open for biz. Gulf, Carib, East Coast, main development region. Sea surface temperatures are warm enough. We're getting active tropical waves coming off the west coast of Africa. So far, what have we had? 6 storms. Colorado State University forecasting a total of 16 by the time the season is over. That would be above the normal of 14. So we need to get 10 more storms to get to CSU's forecast. We've had 1 hurricane. They're forecasting 8. We've had 1 major. Same hurricane, they're forecasting 3. So we got some catch up to do if we're going to make it to that busy forecast that's been put out by CSU. NOAA also expecting a slightly above average season. Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, and Fernand were all weak tropical storms. Aaron, the 5th storm of the season, went to Cat 5. That was a big, powerful hurricane that missed everything. The eye did not go over any landmass, which was a very good thing because the Caribbean islands were threatened. Didn't hit the East Coast. It shot the gap between the East Coast and Bermuda, missed Bermuda as well. So 10 more names will get us to Pablo if we're going to get to 16 named storms this season. Ocean heat content takes into account sea surface temperature and how deep that warm water goes. That gives you a total measurement of the energy available for a storm if one were to develop. And there's plenty of ocean heat content east of the Caribbean, open Atlantic, Caribbean Sea into the Gulf. The thickest, the deepest warmth for energy is right here in the central and west Carib. So if a storm were to get in here, it would have a tremendous amount of energy to feed off of. If other conditions were correct, like light wind shear and a well-developed storm, then that sea surface, that ocean heat content could play into making it a very powerful storm. At the moment, though, we don't have anything in the Caribbean, so the warm water just sits there and stays warm and does nothing. For the moment, sea surface temperatures, this is actually the skin temperature of the ocean surface. 87 in the Gulf, 85 Western Caribbean, 85 Central Carib, 84, 82 main development region this time of the year right here. And actually, this is where we've got a tropical wave that is showing signs of wanting to get better organized. These are all the active waves in the Atlantic Basin right now. Nothing active in the Gulf, quiet as a mouse. Carib is quiet as a mouse. These are just some thunderstorms that blew off of Central America. There is a wave here, a tropical wave, showing absolutely no signs of development, not expected to develop. Another wave, number 2, no signs of development here. You can see with wave number 3, there is more thundershower activity. So there's a little bit more convection, a little bit more vertical motion, and this is the one that the Hurricane Center has its eye on for potential development. 70% chance for development over the next 7 days. Just looking at it, it's very disorganized. It doesn't look like anything that's about to be named a tropical depression or a tropical storm. And I have to tell you, this also has quite a bit of dust with it as well. The last time we had a spot out here that the Hurricane Center was monitoring, last week it went to a 90% chance for development, and then it dissipated. It never did develop because it had so much dust with it. This one has dust with it, so we'll see if this one's able to overcome its own worst enemy, some dust that it's bringing with it. Here's the latest from the Tropical Outlook. There's the wave. That's the area where it has a 70% chance for developing. You will see that in general they expect this to move west-northwest. If that were to happen, it's going to keep it out of the Caribbean, keep it away from all that juicy ocean heat content, and that would keep it away from the Gulf and probably keep it away from the East Coast. As by the time it got further north, it's going to get pulled north. And we'll look at the steering currents overall here in just a minute. Let's look at modeling. So here we are, Sunday, September the 14th. The wave has not developed. That is a little non-tropical low heading off the East Coast. You'll watch that go on off to the north and east harmlessly. Now watch when I put this in motion you'll see we'll get what looks like two storms developing. Remember, I'm running two computer models simultaneously. We're running the GFS and the Euro. So the American and the Euro are running simultaneously. Do that so you can get a quick glance at what both big global models are doing, how they compare to each other, and where the storm may be headed. So let's do that. We'll put this into motion, go forward. And this goes out to this coming Wednesday, the 17th. And so by Wednesday, both the Euro in black and the GFS in red have developing a strengthening tropical system, be it a tropical storm or a weak hurricane at that point. But they've got it in there. So both models say, yeah, we're going to see something develop here in the next few days. And that's only 3 days out. Pretty well developed system on both of them. So confidence is pretty high that we're going to have a storm out here if it can overcome the dust that is currently with it. And you'll notice the difference between the isobars all curled up tightly together in a developing tropical system, and what you see here across the Caribbean, long straight lines. Nothing developing here, just lines of equal pressure showing up. We'll go through the next several days into next Sunday. So a week from today, the European and the American both have a strong hurricane. Both solutions are close to each other, but they're already, you may have noticed, beginning to make that more northerly turn. So this one would stay away from the east coast of the U.S. or the Caribbean if it were to develop, if that forecast does verify. So that's a week out. So then we'll take the long range here, take this with a grain of salt. Longer out in time you try to forecast, the larger the error. But both models have a similar solution. Both produce a powerful major hurricane. The Euro wants to perhaps threaten Bermuda. The GFS does not. It keeps it further to the east. But both have a big, bad hurricane in the open Atlantic by next Tuesday. And you can also see what else there is important to notice. Nothing like that. Nothing even close in the Carib or the Gulf. So for the moment, it appears nothing is going to be threatening us. Again, long range in the heart of tropical season, that's interesting. You look at it and you put it aside and you get up and take it one day at a time. Trust me, things can change overnight this time of the year, even though the models say everything's quiet. So we can't let our guard down just yet in the heart of the season. Here's another look at it. This is a model that looks for atmospheric spin. This is showing a storm of some degree north and east of the islands, and I run this just to show you that's what you'd look for if you're going to see a developing system, and you see nothing like that in the Carib or the Gulf. This is the European version, so it takes it near Bermuda as we head into Tuesday of next week. Nothing developing in the Carib or Gulf, no concentrated spin. So that's another look at where we think that storm may or may not be going. So why is it going that way? It's the upper level winds. It's always the upper level winds. So this is the flow at 34,000 feet. See, there's Houston, Texas. There's Miami. Let's see, Charleston, Wilmington. There's Boston, just to set your bearings. And then here's the open Atlantic. And this is the setup right now up at 34,000 feet. Big ridge, and then this trough. And then it goes up into a ridge again. But what do you look for as far as how this impacts the United States as far as a storm approaching is, as long as you have a trough like this sitting on the east coast, well, everything that tries to come out of the Atlantic is going to feel that trough. Trough's going to grab it and bend it northeast. It's going to grab it and bend it off to the northeast. Even with, look how far this dips down. This dips all the way down to the Yucatan. So if we had a system coming through the Carib, where would it be going? It would be grab by that trough and head off up to the northeast, and that could miss the United States altogether as long as it missed the Florida Keys. So that's the way the steering currents stand right now. Let's go out in time, and I'll show you where that current storm is going to be and how the currents play out, and really nothing really changes. We have a split jet, northern branch of the jet here, southern branch, same dip, all the way down into the southern Gulf. Here's our developing system. This is Monday the 22nd, so we're 9 days out from now. And at that point, this system has already come in and turned, and that trough just basically blocks everything off to the east. So that's in the process, according to this modeling, of zipping off into the North Atlantic, and it will not hit the East Coast. So it's that trough of low pressure in the upper levels that is acting like the defensive line and keeping the rush out. Saharan dust, we talked about that. That's the system trying to develop right there. A little bit of dust with it. We'll see if it's able to overcome that or not. There's another plume forecast to come off next Sunday. Again, it may be the dust that's been suppressing tropical development so far this season, keeping us below normal. So far, to this point in the season, we're about 30% below normal in storm activity in the Atlantic. We'll see if that continues. Okay, Houston, Monday, hot, 94. There is a slight chance for a few scattered thunder showers in the afternoon, 30%. Don't count on getting cooled off. Don't cancel any practices. This should be splash and dash shower activity coming and going pretty quickly. Otherwise, just hot and humid. Keep the kids and yourself hydrated. And summer continues for Houston. Here we are in the middle of September, and it feels more like the middle of August. Normal high is about 90 this time of the year. So you can see Monday 94, Tuesday 94, Wednesday 95, Thursday 95. No tastes of fall in the extended forecast. We do keep a slight chance for a scattered shower in there each afternoon. That's where we stand. We're live, but we're not going to be right at 10. What is it, the Emmys going on tonight? Yeah, so we got the Emmys on right now. Enjoy the Emmys, and we will see you right after the end of the show tonight on KHOU 11 News, technically at 10, but a little bit after 10. We'll see you then.